Have you ever wondered what Dart variables are? Well, let's unravel this mystery together. Dart is a versatile and powerful language developed by none other than Google itself. But before we dive deep into Dart variables, let's take a moment to understand what variables are in the world of programming. Picture variables as containers, each assigned a unique name and holding a specific value. Much like how you might store your cookies in a jar labeled cookies, a variable stores data in a similar fashion. Now when it comes to Dart, these variables can hold different types of values such as numbers, strings, or even booleans. This allows for great flexibility and efficiency while coding. Dart variables are the building blocks of the language, providing a way to label and store data that can be manipulated and used throughout your program. Now that you know what Dart variables are, you might be wondering, why should you use them? Why should you bother with Dart variables? Well, Dart variables are a fundamental part of the language, providing the structure and functionality necessary for your Dart programs to run smoothly. They're the building blocks, the containers that hold the different types of values your program needs to function. Imagine Dart variables as labeled boxes in a warehouse. Each box or variable can hold different types of goods or values. This could be a number, a string of text, a list, or even a whole object. Now the beauty of these boxes is that they aren't fixed. You can change what's inside them throughout your program, providing you with a great deal of flexibility. Moreover, Dart variables help make your code more readable and maintainable. With descriptive variable names, your code becomes self-explanatory, making it easier for others and your future self to understand. So, Dart variables are pretty important, right? But how do you declare them? Declaring Dart variables is as easy as pie. Let's dive right in. The syntax for declaring variables in Dart is straightforward. First, you specify the type, then the variable name. For example, to declare an integer, you'd write int myNumber. In Dart, you have access to several types of variables. These include integers, represented as int, floating point numbers as double, text strings as string, and Boolean values as bool. Now, Dart is an optionally typed language. This means you can declare variables as var when you don't know the variable's type. When you do this, Dart will infer the type for you. Pretty convenient, right? But remember, once a variable is declared, its type is fixed. That said, if you want to keep your variables flexible, Dart offers dynamic type. With dynamic, a variable's type can change over time. You've just declared your first Dart variable. But what about assigning values to them? Assigning values to Dart variables is a walk in the park. It's as simple as using an equal sign, much like in algebra. Let's say we have a variable x. To assign a value to x, you'd write x equals 5. Easy, right? Remember, the type of value you assign should match the type of variable. If x is an integer, you can't assign x a string value like hello. Dart will throw an error because it expects an integer value. But what if we don't know the type of variable? Dart has you covered. Use the var keyword. When you write var y equals hello, Dart infers that we is a string. The beauty of var is its flexibility. It allows Dart to determine the variable type based on the assigned value, which can be quite handy. Now you know how to assign values to Dart variables, but how do they compare to variables in other languages? How do Dart variables stack up against variables in other languages, you might ask? Well, let's dive right in. In comparison to JavaScript, Dart brings a strong typing system. This means that the data type of a variable is known at compile time, reducing the risk of runtime errors. The downside? It might seem a tad restrictive to those used to JavaScript's dynamic typing. Now when we look at Python, Dart's static typing comes off as a double-edged sword. While Python's dynamic typing allows for flexibility and ease of use, Dart's static typing offers predictability and better performance. However, one of the unique advantages of Dart is its var keyword. This allows you to declare a variable without specifying its type, giving you a taste of the flexibility found in JavaScript and Python. So Dart variables offer a balanced blend of security and flexibility. And with that, you're well on your way to understanding Dart variables. Keep practicing and you'll master them in no time.